Hey guys, what is up and welcome back to my channel. Another day, another drama channel drama, and today we'll be doing part 2 of the T-Trigger and In Line with Ellie Exposed video. If you have not seen part 1 of this video, I will link that up in a card over here as well as down in the description down below, so definitely make sure you go and check that out as well. Now before we get into this video, I do want to clarify about something that I said in my previous video, and that Ellie was doing her lives about T-Trigger based off of them releasing information on her, and she was retaliating with that information. Now the information that T-Trigger released on her was from a while back, and it was not recent. I interpreted in her live that she was releasing the information because they had just released something, but that was from things that they had said in the past. So I just wanted to clear that up because I got that wrong. Again, if you have not seen part 1 to this video, then you will not understand anything that I am talking about in this video, so please definitely go watch that video before you watch this one. Now, if you've already seen that video, you know that all of this drama happened because they were looking into a child's Twitter account. Well, Ellie went on to her live to talk about what happened and address things, addressed the chat, answered questions, and said that she was sorry, that what they were doing was inappropriate, and she was apologizing, and so forth. And she was just trying to address what she could in the chat, as well as what was happening behind the scenes. Well, at the same time, T-Trigger went live almost at the end of Ellie's live, and they wanted to clear the air, according to them, quote unquote, and basically had a 2-hour live. It was about 116 minutes, if I remember correctly, where they were going to tell everybody what happened and address everything. Well, let's just say that is not what happened, and here is what really happened if you missed that live. They started out their live by apologizing to Will, but refused to say his name because he was a minor, but yet had no issue looking into him during this whole time, but yet said that they were so sorry and that they can't believe that they actually did what they did. But here's the thing, you did it. You had no problem investigating this person and downloading all of their Instagram photos to dissect them. There are screenshots to prove that you said this. And then you have the audacity to not even address this person by name to offer them a public apology after all of this came out. That to me shows your true character, and you honestly just don't care. Now, at least in Ellie's live, Will was in the chat and Ellie was addressing him and his questions, and she publicly apologized to him by saying his name. So I will give that to Ellie. Back to T-Trigger's live. Now after they did this, then for some reason they brought up a Danielle Cohn and people talking about her on their channels because again she is a minor. But the difference between Will and Danielle Cohn is that Danielle is a public figure, and most people were addressing Danielle in this situation because they believe that her mother was behind the account and she was her child for financial gain, and also on top of that lying about her age. That is why a lot of people were talking about Danielle Cohn, because they believe that her mom was her. They were not downloading Danielle's pics and investigating them to find out if they were photoshopped or not. They then went on to say that the biggest mistake that they ever made was letting Ellie influence them in any way and putting things into their head that they would believe. So again, you have T-Trigger and his wife placing all the blame on Ellie, saying that she manipulated us and we just believed what she said. But you are adults and have the right to make up your own mind. Just because Ellie said something does not make it true, does not make it fact. So again, instead of taking any kind of accountability for the actions that they did, they put everything back on Ellie. At one point, they even said that Ellie had a forensic specialist sign off on the thread that she was doing, and yet they had seen no proof of this, but totally believed it. Now, if somebody came to me and said, I hired a forensic specialist to investigate a thread, I'd be like, really? Really? You hired a forensic specialist to investigate a Twitter thread? Like, I would not believe that at all unless I saw proof, and after somebody told me that, if they did prove that it was true, I'd be like, wow, why are you hiring somebody to investigate this thread? That to me seems a little far. But again, they believed it with no proof, so that's on them. And also, if somebody is going as far as hiring a forensic specialist to investigate a thread, why would you want to be associated with this person anyways? But yet you continue to associate with Ellie and be involved in the group chats. But yet you're saying that she is this terrible, terrible, terrible person. Now, I'm not saying that what Ellie was doing behind the scenes that she was completely innocent in. She did admit that what she was doing was wrong, but they went along with it, and now we're trying to throw her under the bus, saying that everything is on her. They then went on to say that the apology that T-Trigger did to Saya when he reached out was a genuine apology and was not a troll. But let's be honest, at this point, can we even believe that that was not a troll? Do we have proof? With everything that's coming out from behind the scenes, I don't know if I believe that it was a genuine apology, but again, that's just my opinion, and that's up for Saya if she wants to take that apology or not. And during this entire live, they showed screenshots all from Elli and included none of their responses. They were saying that they were not very involved in these group chats. But yeah, I don't know if I believe that because I have not seen the full context of these group chats. But let's be honest, if you're trying to save face and place the blame on somebody else, why would you include your own damaging screenshots? They then went on to say that Elli was attacking and criticizing everybody who thought that her thread was false because she believed that it threatened her credibility. And they responded by saying, what credibility? But the thing is, though, is that when I released my video about the thread, when people were starting to believe that it was false, Elli did not slide into my DMs and criticize me. It was T-Trigger who slid into my DMs and criticized me. Now, this happened on March 23rd, but they said that they stopped believing things that Elli was saying back on February 27th. Now, if you stopped believing what Elli was saying and thought that the thread was most likely false, why would you slide into my DMs almost a month later and criticize me when I made my videos saying, hey, people are starting to believe that this is false? So you were the one that did that to me, not Elli. And then they went on to address Sea Lion Gate by saying, well, T-Trigger didn't technically call Saya Sea Lion. But here's the thing, is that was a subtweet, and once people were able to reconnect that subtweet to Saya, that is the exact same thing as if you would have included her in it. So don't try to play like, oh, well, he didn't actually do that. Everyone just made it seem like he did. But when you subtweet about somebody and it gets connected back to that person, it's the exact same thing as calling them that. You just didn't have the balls to do it with an @ let's be honest. And then they went on to say that Elli manipulated their apology to Saya, and that they did not release the apology that they wanted to, but the one that Elli manipulated them into releasing. Again, you are an adult, you're able to make up your own decisions, you're just trying to place all the blame on Elli so you can come back in a year and be like, we're so sorry for everything that we did, but again, it was all Elli's fault that we did all that stuff. None of that was our responsibility. Please forgive us so we can do our videos again. So this is not just on Elli, this is on you. So don't try to play those games saying that you had no responsibility in this, because you did. T-Trigger and his wife then again went on to apologize, saying that they are so sorry for everything that happened, but yet they knew it was wrong and continued to participate in these group chats for months. There are screenshots showing them talking about Will back in December, and there were several different chats that were going on all the way through the end of March. So you were in these group chats for at least 4 months doing things like this behind the scenes and yet had no problem with them, but now all of a sudden that you're getting called out about it, you're so sorry about everything that happened. Really? And then again, they continued to throw Elli under the bus by calling her a mastermind behind the scenes and that she was in control of everything. And that Elli doing her videos and her lives about them was just character assassination. Now, let's be honest, you guys were also involved in character assassination when you tried to label Nick Snyder, Petty Page, and Dustin Daly as racist and anti-Semites. So you were completely involved in character assassination as well, so don't try to play the victim here when you partook in it. They finally showed a screenshot of T-Trigger's wife popping into one of the group chats to say, just popped in to say that Saya is a bitch Rooney Dooney. But do I believe that this is the worst thing that she said in those group chats? Absolutely not. Let's be honest. Again, I believe that they are just trying to save face as much as they can so they can come back later on and try to pick up exactly where they left off, and I'm not buying it. I'm sorry, but there is no way that I think that they were not more involved in what they're letting on. There was a lot of things that happened behind the scenes, and I am waiting for more screenshots to come my way. I did have somebody reach out to me who has more screenshots that they will be sending, so all those will be included in part 3. So then that way, hopefully, they send screenshots of what actually happened in these group chats. Because I believe that T-Trigger and his wife were way more involved than what they're actually letting on. And then they slightly address Angelo in the live, saying, and this is a quote from Ivy, "I thought we were doing something great by taking Angelo down." End quote. You literally thought that you were doing something great by attacking somebody online to the point where they left the platform because you were attacking them so hard that you were doing something great. Let that sink in for just a minute. You thought you were doing something great by taking Angelo down. Wow. And then further on in the live, T-Trigger starts to question if Nick Snyder actually placed the false copyright claim on his video or if it was Elli trying to stir up more drama. I don't know what he's trying to do by dragging this back up, if he's trying to throw Elli under the bus for possibly false copyright striking this video. It was marked by a third party, and the letters in Nick's channel were all capitalized, whereas the actual copyright claim came back with a capital T, a capital V, and a capital V, and everything else was lowercase. So now I think he's definitely trying to blame Elli for this, when it could have been a company on YouTube that just struck the video because of all the content that he used from Nick's video. So the fact that he's trying to throw Elli under the bus for this is just kind of baffling when it could have been YouTube itself. And also, he said that he believed that the thread that Elli was doing on the Here for the Tea was not true, and yet again had no problem sliding into my DMs to send me messages saying, how dare you say that that thread is not true? It's 100% true, but yet you literally just said in your live that you did not believe it was true. And you don't believe anything that Elli has to say. So again, you're placing all the blame on Elli when you were the one who decided to make a video about that thread when you didn't have to. Even if she asked you to make a video about that thread, you didn't have to do it. That was on you. You chose to do that. So again, all the blame gets shifted back onto Elli, and you are taking no accountability for your actions. You and your wife are both grown adults. It's time to start acting like one, grow up, and take responsibility for your own actions.